All right, everyone. Hope everybody's doing good out there. It's been, probably about a month or so since I've shot anything, and I've been working on the white truck quite a bit over the last 2 weeks or so. So let me go through, show you what I've done, and show you what I'm going to be working on today and what I'm going to try to do a how-to video on. Hopefully the video gets done, because it's like everything else. I start working and then I realize, like, I could have shot that, and then I got to go through the trouble of trying to shoot it while I'm working, and I'm just, for some reason, I just do better just working. I need to get somebody to just record while I work and then have them do all this stuff, because me having to do it on myself and rely on myself, I'm just not very consistent at it. But let's talk about the white truck. Been working on it the last 2 weeks. I'm going to show you what I've done, what I'm going to be doing, and what the end result is. So let's follow along. Let's get this going. So the white truck had a few blemishes paint-wise that I wanted to really fix up on it. Now, this truck has been redone in certain areas, and the quality of the paint and the work that's been done to it is good, but it's not great. The camera probably doesn't pick it up, but in this lighting, because you have the fluorescent lights above, you could really get in there and you could see certain things in the paint, certain, like, it probably got painted in a place that wasn't a spray booth. You could see like little imperfections where they wet sanded it and they buffed it, and it looks decent. And the truck is a very nice looking truck. I'm very proud of it, but it's not a show truck by any means. It's my driver. So I was trying to just fix a few things that have been bugging me about it. I didn't fix everything, but I've gotten most of the issues that I was having with the truck as far as body-wise repair. So the first was on both sides. These rockers were all worn away from getting in and out, because the truck doesn't have any steps on it, as you can see. So it's natural to step right on that rocker and get yourself into the truck. So both sides, this whole part was worn away. This edge was worn away, and this whole top part was worn away. So on both sides, I sanded and I painted. Obviously, you can see I did not paint this area. So I basically painted this whole rocker top. In the front side here, I painted this whole top. This lower door had some like rub marks in it that were bugging me, so I painted this part of the lower door. It had on the tailgate, and I don't know if it was seen on other videos, I think someone was pulling something with the truck and the rope snapped, or the chain. It had it looked like an upside down Nike swish mark like that. And it was probably a chain, because it was kind of the way the dent was. You could feel it. It was like dimple, high spot, dimple, high spot. And it kind of felt like something had, bam, smacked it. So that was there when I bought the truck. And then I had noticed, I think it was right here, it had started to get a crack in it. And the reason why it was cracking, because it had Bondo. And it had Bondo because there had been a huge dent right here in the tailgate that went into this body line. And whoever did the work on it, instead of putting any effort into getting the dent out, just basically filled it, which if you do that with Bondo, if anybody knows about body work and Bondo, and especially on something that gets opened and closed like a tailgate does, eventually it's gonna crack because it's just too thick. It can't stay like that. So I ended up grinding all this body work out, and I used a stud welder, and I stud welded, and I used a slide hammer. I pulled all that dent out. About 90% better than it was. Of course, there is some filler in there. There's nothing you can do. I mean, there's no access, believe it or not. You have an inside panel in here that can access, if you look. But where that dent was, it was kind of like in this area where this part is, and it was actually, some of it was under, I don't know if you can see, but there's actually a structure piece that goes in the tailgate, and you can't get down in there. So I couldn't get any stuff in on the inside to really work it out. So I had to use the stud welder, work that dent out, did the same thing, used a stud welder, worked out the dent that was on here, and then all the body work, and I painted the whole tailgate. So that was the second part of it. Then I had, if you could see my bumper, I had damaged the bumper moving a trailer. It was my fault. I was backing a trailer in on a very busy road to a narrow driveway, and I was trying to get the trailer up the driveway one shot, and I overcorrected, and the trailer has a box on it the box caught this bumper. This is an aftermarket bumper, so it's about as thin, it's about as thick as tinfoil, and right when it caught it, it literally bent this bumper up nasty. I mean, the bumper was so twisted, it looked like total garbage. I was able to fix it and bend it and get it pretty close to back to where it was. Obviously, it still got things in it, but it was better than what it was. But when it did that, it actually caved in this whole corner of my quarter panel. So I had to work that dent out, body work in there, and I ended up painting from this area all the way till about here, and then I blended it down, and then I cleared it from this body line down. I had some actual bubbling that was starting in this lower part of the cab corner, and I didn't want to let it go, and I'm glad I didn't, because once you know, like anybody who knows rust, once you get into rust, you see a little bit. That's only what you see. That's not really what's going on. There's more. So I cut out probably, I'm thinking down, over, up, like a section probably that big. So most of the cab corner. The rest of this cab corner was solid. It was solid all in here. It was just this lower area. So I made my own little patch panel from some sheet metal I had, and I panel bonded it in, body worked it, and I painted the whole cab corner, and I cleared it, and I did it to, I think I did it to this lower body line. I didn't do it up, I don't think. Yeah, I didn't go as high as the quarter. So I did this lower part on the cab corner. This door had a big chip. This door had a huge chip that was right here, and it was there for so long that it actually started getting rust on the inside edge of the chip. So I ended up sanding and probably doing a spot on this door that was probably from the edge of the door all the way down. So I ended up painting from this body line down, painting it and then blending it, and then I cleared the whole bottom of the door. And then I also did the same thing on this rocker, which it's unfortunately dirty, but this rocker was the same way. It wasn't as bad because not many people get in and out of the truck. It's mostly me driving it, but it was still worn down the bare metal, worn down the bare metal. So that was last week. I did all that, you know, body work, and I didn't record any of it, so you guys aren't going to see it. But did the lower door, did the cab, did that rocker. Oh yeah, and the wheel wells. These wheel wells here, when I bought the truck, whoever painted this bed never took the time to really prep this wheel well very well. The paint started peeling. So I had sanded the paint, and then I had put some Por 15 on this edge just to protect it. And it was like that forever. It was, over a year it was like that. So it was just like a black edge. Like you could probably see actually a little bit still peeking. So it was like right to here. So I ended up sanding that, priming it, and then basically I taped it on the wheel arch here, and I painted and I cleared. I did that on both sides of the truck. So I got the door, the cab, the inside edges of the wheel arches, this lower corner, and then the bottom of the door on the driver's side and the lower rocker also on the driver's side. So those are all the repairs I made. And if you look closely here, you can see what this is. I was driving, we had a couple bad windstorms this year in this area, and on one day after one of the windstorms I was driving, a stick had fallen. I came around a corner, and basically sticking out of the side of the woods was a nice thick branch, and the branch caught, let's say right here, and it just went right down the whole side of the truck. So yesterday, after I got done cleaning up everything and putting everything back together from doing the paint work, I lightly wet sanded that mark out. Now, what we're gonna do, what I'm gonna try to show you today, try to do a how-to video, if I can stay consistent on actually shooting the video, is I'm gonna ceramic coat it. So, first step, my brother had bought me these two kits, I'll show you the kits later on, a couple months ago, to ceramic coat one of my trucks. And I'm gonna do the white truck, hopefully today. But when you ceramic coat, once you do that, you don't want to, if you got any imperfections in your paint that you want to fix, you're not going to want to ceramic coat it until those are gone. So I had all the body work to do, and of course I didn't have a lot of work going on, so I started doing the body work, then all of a sudden I got busy and it just took a back seat because at the end of the day I got to make a living. So I was working and then trying to work on this. And then finally last week, I got all of my body work, all my painting done. I actually painted everything on Friday. Now it's Monday. So I painted everything on Friday. And then yesterday I came in Sunday, I put the tailgate on, put that back together, put all the inside stuff, interior back together. I got all the masking off the truck, and I washed the truck, I clay barred the truck. Now I'm buffing it. I'm gonna go over the whole truck with the wool pad, and I'm gonna use this 2500 grit polishing compound Ardex, and I'll probably go back over it with a swirl remover, even though it's white and it probably won't show a lot of swirls. But what I'm doing now is I'm basically I ended up just taking the mirror off just to make it easier. I'll take the mirror off the other side to come off 4 bolts. It's really quick. I'd actually like to take the door handle off and actually buff in there, but I'm not gonna go through the trouble. I'm gonna leave the door handle on the truck. So right now, I'm buffing everything. I'm gonna go through probably 2 steps. Buff it with the wool pad with the 2500, then I'll probably go to a foam pad, like with a nice swirl remover. I'll go over the whole truck, and then I'm gonna start applying the ceramic coating. I'm gonna try to do 1 panel at a time and show you guys the process of doing that. But to go over the steps, first, if there's any body work, paint work that needs to be done, you're gonna wanna have that done before you do ceramic coating. Unless you just don't care and you're just doing it to do it, then you can leave that stuff. But you're not gonna wanna do it and then do body work. So I did the body work first, did my paint work first, then paint correction. You're gonna wanna clay bar it. You probably would wanna use some kind of an iron remover on the paint. Believe it or not, there's a lot of iron that gets on the paint of vehicles from people's brakes and from the atmosphere and being outside. I'm not gonna do that stuff. I'm not gonna use the iron remover. So basically I washed this really good yesterday. I used actually a dish soap because I wanted to strip all the wax off of this truck because I was pretty good on waxing it on a regular basis. So washed it, used the dish soap, then I clay barred the whole truck. Then I started panel by panel. I went over every little imperfection I could see that I could wet sand. I wet sanded it with 1500 grit. I used this little trusty block that I have. Like, it's gone now, but there were like a lot of light scratches right here that I wet sanded. I did wet sand whatever little line I had from where I blended my clear, and obviously I wet sanded there on the door where I already showed you. So I kind of already went over the truck and I've wet sanded everything that needed to be wet sanded. Now I'm gonna buff the whole truck. I'll probably go 2 steps on it. Then after that, I'll get back on the video and I'll show you how to apply the ceramic coating. I'm gonna do 1 panel at a time, and I might do 2 coats. My brother bought me 2 kits. I might do 2 coats on each panel. I haven't decided yet how I'm gonna do it, but I just wanted to give you guys a little update what I've been doing on the white truck. I've been basically driving the Dodge for the last 5 or 6 weeks, and I'll probably shoot a video on what's been going on with the Dodge, but I've been driving on a regular, and this has just been sitting, and I've been really wanting to do this work to it, and now I got some free time, so I'm gonna try to get it done on this holiday week while I got a little bit of a low. So I'll get back with you soon, and I'll show you the progress as we move along.